All right, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living with your favorite people, Kelly,
Hello.
A, and JK. That's me. I don't know. It was the best intro I could think of.
I was
In
wondering what you were going to do.
in 0.3 seconds. We'll see. So for those of you who may have missed last week or last episode, I should say, last
Yeah, 2
episode.
weeks ago.
Yeah, you are officially
Officially not a coach.
officially out of the coaching business. Yeah. How's it feel the first week out, first couple weeks out?
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm figuring out before the end of November, I was like, okay, how can I phase out of all my coaching stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So like my coaching email, my website, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I forgot that my website domain is attached to my email. So I let it
Your personal email or business email?
my business email.
Okay.
But I let it expire on like November 27th.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I tried to email one of my remaining athletes, and I was like, why haven't I heard back from her? And then I emailed myself, my personal email. And then I sent, and then I sent an email back, and it was like, this email doesn't exist. And I was like, oh my God, such an idiot. So then I had to renew my domain for another year because I don't want my website. That's the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
I was just waiting for my website to go away,
Yeah.
basically. But you can't get rid of the website if you have an active domain.
Do you use like Google Workspace or something? Or did you go through like GoDaddy or something?
So I started with Google Workspace, and then they sold their domain part to WordPress, which is what I have my website with.
Did not know
Yeah,
that.
or maybe it's Squarespace. Either way, it's not connected to Google anymore.
Okay.
So now it's connected to, I use WordPress for my website, but WordPress won't let me delete my site while I have an active domain.
Oh,
So I was like,
interesting.
I'll let my domain expire, and then Google's like, now you can't use your email. So
This is giving the same energy as, man, I know my password. Okay, forgot password, and then you pick something, and like you can't reuse the same password.
Right.
You're like, but I just tried to use it. Yeah, it's giving that same sort of energy. Okay.
Yeah. So now my site is private because I just don't want it. I just don't want it out in the world, you know?
You don't want traffic on there?
I don't want traffic on there, no. I just don't want it to exist anymore.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But now I have to wait a year.
A year? Okay.
Until I can fully, I guess I can just let it sit there forever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
at this point.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
But phasing out of my email will be harder.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah. But
Okay. All right. Well, hey, updates.
That's pretty much. I don't really have any updates.
Okay.
It's been boring.
I didn't know if you just popped up and ran a little 5K or something.
No, since last recording, work has been really busy. I decided, like I said last episode, to be in my off season, so training is like not as heavy.
Okay. Have you gotten into the gym because you joined a gym?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right.
One day.
Fantastic.
I mostly wanted it. I'm off for a week and a half, the week of Christmas and New Year's.
We were just talking about this before.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I love that for you.
I had not a lot, but I had a substantial amount of my PTO, which is not a lot to begin with, left. So I was like, we'll take these days.
Okay.
It's really only 4 days because we have Christmas Eve and Christmas, New Year's Eve and New Year's are work-wide holidays.
Oh, okay.
So it's really Friday, Tuesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have PTO. Does it expire like calendar year or anniversary, or how's that go for you?
Allegedly, calendar year.
Oh, okay.
I say allegedly because our system that tracks our PTO says none of us accrue anything in 2026, so it's fully not right. So I don't know what happens in January.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That sounds like something for the water cooler. So, all right. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
anyway, what's up with you?
Well, let's see. The last time that we recorded, I was it was one day before I was getting wisdom teeth plus one
Yes.
removed.
+1.
So, yeah, plus one,
Was
doing
that
a
a
little,
surprise?
no, mm,
Oh,
no, I had like one, I think it was on the bottom. So I had all
uh-huh.
four wisdom teeth removed. And then
Yeah.
on the bottom, there was one like problematic tooth, like right next to the wisdom tooth.
Oh, like a molar?
Uh, sure, whatever.
Like the very
So
back one?
I didn't ask questions. Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
So
Huh.
instead of going through any other type of process, when I had gone to the dentist, they were like, "Well, here are your options. When you remove your wisdom teeth, we could either do whatever with that other tooth, or you could pull it." And I was like, "Yeah, it can go. Everything must go. Like it's fine. It's like we're all good." If I like came home, I had like two teeth, and that's it. Yay. So yeah, so I did that on Monday. So had the teeth pulled on Monday. Um, fully expected that it would be that I was going to go under because
Mhm.
I have not had teeth pulled ever before in my life. So I just made the assumption that that's just what you do. You just
I was put under, so
yeah, and I would say the majority of the people that I talked to, heard from, offered unsolicited advice. There was so much unsolicited advice and opinions, so many
oh,
unsolicited opinions. Um, all mentioned the recovery process, and a big part of it was like sedation and all this other stuff. But yeah, when I got in there, jokingly, like very sarcastically, which I'm sure you're surprised from me,
uh-huh.
as I'm signing off on waivers and things like that, the one of the would they be assistants, hygienists? I don't know, but one of
Yes.
the folks that was there just asked me as they were prepping some tools. They're like, "And you're doing sedation, right?" And I jokingly was like, "Well, yeah. Is there some other option for what I'm getting done?" And
Uh-huh.
she was like, "Well, yeah, some people don't." And I'm still in like sarcasm mode. So I was like, "Well, who, that's weird. Who in their right mind would do that? Like, who would want to do this without sedation?" And she was like, "Actually," and I was like, "Hold on, tell me about this." So I was like, "Help me understand, like, what type of person does that?" So she starts walking me through it. And I was like, you have piqued my interest. I'm curious.
This is insane.
Yeah. So I was like, "Well, walk me through how that goes." And then another person came in, uh, and she not the dentist yet, but she was like, "What are you guys talking about?" I was like, "I don't know." She's saying you don't necessarily have to go under, and she was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Okay, so you're not running game right now. Like this is a real yeah, this is a real thing." I'm just
Uh,
chilling. I'm just chilling. So I was like, "Okay." So what's the pros and what's the cons? And we just kind of talked about it for a couple of minutes, and then when the dentist came in, he was like, "Yeah, based on the fact that I can't remember the term that he used, but he was like they're fully in, like they're not like far beneath the gum or whatever it is." He was like, they're basically fully grown in, so he's like, you could go that route. He's like that fifth one that we're pulling, he's like, that one could be a little bit problematic, but he's like, if you have a decent amount of pain tolerance, from his perspective, he was like, really the worst part is the shots, because I was still doing the local, like the numbing.
yeah, yeah.
So like I'm not like Rambo. Like I'm not going with nothing
That'd be
at all.
insane.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Um, I'm only half crazy. So yeah, he walked me through. Yeah, he's like it's gonna be, I can't remember how many shots he said it was gonna be. He was just like, he's like, typically that is the part that people just don't even want to deal with. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, the shots are gonna be pretty painful. It's like, but if you can make it through the shots, he's like, they're gonna be quick, but it's just, kind of finding the angle and the spot. And
Ew.
then I asked him, okay, so from your point of view, how would you describe the actual, like the actual surgery itself, like the tooth pull?
Mhm.
If I'm not under, he's like, it's going to be a lot of pressure. He's like, that's the best way I can describe it to
Oh,
you, is a ton of pressure. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know. I'm like, let's send it. Let's do it. So yeah, he was right. The shots themselves were, that I could see how that would be the part that people were like, nah, just go ahead and knock me out. Wake me
yeah.
up tomorrow, sort of thing. But once we got through the shots, then yeah, when he did the teeth pulling, I totally understood what he was talking about then, as far as the
Mhm.
pressure and stuff like that. Cause it does definitely feel like someone is just applying, like really just like if they were taking their thumb, putting it on their
Yeah.
row of teeth, and then just like with all the force they could, just pressing down like hard, hard, hard. But we got through it. That one was, I think he said the root was curved or something like that. He was like, it just has a little bit of an angle to it. He's like, so that particular one, it is a different experience listening to
Ew.
them, because I was fully alert, fully awake, whatever. Just my
Yeah.
mouth was numb. So it definitely is interesting when you're hearing the back and forth and the banter and whatnot. You got the country music playing in the background, and just chilling. And he's like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Aha, sure." So yeah, finished up, and
It's
then
disgusting.
yeah, finished up. Took a few minutes. It took that last tooth took a little bit longer than took longer than anything.
Like
And
the
then
normal tooth?
yeah, yeah, that one took longer than anything. And then, yeah, they walked me through like the aftercare. They gave me the head wrap thing. And one of the funny parts, or I thought it was funny, was she was like, so Emily, my wife, was out in the waiting room, and she was like, well, do you want me to have your wife come in and I can walk you guys through like how to put it on? Cause you probably don't want to walk through, the waiting room with the head wrap
Mhm.
thing and the ice packs. And of course, in my brain, I sound totally normal, but I'm sure like my mouth is just completely numb.
Oh, yeah.
But I basically was like, I have zero shame. Like, I do not give any
Yeah.
cares about walking through the waiting room. I don't care if I'm drooling. Like, I really don't care. And she was like, you really have no shame. I was like, none, zero, really don't care. So I had him wrap it, but the ice packs didn't make a lick of difference because of my beard.
Oh,
Made
yeah.
I'm
That's
And
what
when
you
I
were
say
telling me.
yeah, with like no difference whatsoever. So yeah, so I think my son was fairly disappointed because he was hoping that he was going to get one of those funny videos of me like spouting nonsense
Yeah.
after being put under, but no, I went back home. I mean, definitely was experiencing some discomfort after the numbing finally wore off, but the
Mhm.
numbing wore off like that evening, which was fine, like, or late afternoon into the evening. And then, it was soup and ice cream for a
Mm.
couple of days.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely started reintroducing things. And everybody and their mother, brother, uncle, and cousin twice removed was like throwing out tips about not getting dry socket, which I took to heart. I definitely took to heart. um but yeah, by the time, let me see, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I went back to work on Thursday. Yeah,
Okay.
I went back to work on Thursday as planned. um And yeah, so that was Cyber Monday. I totally remember that. Yep. So it was
Mm.
Cyber Monday that I had the surgery. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, I was out, and then I came back on Thursday. And yeah, it's been just, managing, trying to keep things clean and trying to rinse and all that stuff. But overall, I think for the most part, I think I'm pretty good at this point. I think I'm out of the woods for potential dry socket
I would hope so.
issues. Yeah,
2 weeks later.
yeah, I'm super blessed because one of my clients has is a, oh gosh, I just don't like um diminishing the position somebody has, because I don't know the difference between a dental assistant and a dental hygienist. I just don't.
I don't either.
Um However, she knows her stuff, and she's like my
Yeah.
longest running client. We worked together for 7 years. So messaged her that night, or she had messaged me, I think, just to see how things had gone. And when I had told her, like, yeah, I think, or a couple nights later, because Mace had a basketball game, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good. They told me no lifting. So I may just, and it was a few days later. I was like, well, at this point, I'm 3 days removed. So I
Mhm.
think I'm just going to go super light and whatnot. And she was like, you're going to need to give me a call. So yeah. Then when one of the things that she explained, which totally
Mm.
connected in my head, because even though they gave me the same information, when somebody actually like knows you, then they can explain
Yeah.
it kind of in your language. And the thing that was broken down for me was that it's not a concern about like straining, because the way that they explained it to me was like straining, gritting your teeth, like clenching your jaw, that sort of a thing. You just want to remove any possibility of that. And she was like, actually, one of the bigger issues would be your heart rate increasing, which could potentially
Mm.
affect like increasing your blood pressure, which then could affect that blood clotting. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I kept it like, I basically didn't even lift a weight that day. So that was 3 or 4 days out, I think. Did some zone 2, just very, very light. It might have even been zone 1, to be quite honest with you.
Mhm.
Um, and then for the next week, so that was last week, for last week, just kept things really light. It was an intro week for a new training program anyway, so kept that really light. And yeah, at this point, my ibuprofen usage has been cut by about 90%, which is fantastic starting this week. So that's great. 'Cause seriously,
Uh,
took more ibuprofen in the last like month and a half to 2 months than I have probably in the last 5 years, because I just don't use it.
I'm
So
still impressed that you were only on ibuprofen.
Tylenol. I did have extra strength Tylenol
Okay,
too.
still.
Yeah, but
Have
OTC,
we
yeah, over the counter
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about my wisdom teeth experience on the pod.
A little bit, somewhat. I mean, not
We
like in
have?
depth. Not like in depth. No,
You
not on
and
the
I have.
pod. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I had a very different experience than JK is describing.
The ice packs did help because it didn't hurt your beard. That's what you're talking
I
about?
don't remember ice packs, but I did get put under.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't remember really the rest of that day, except when I woke up from my nap and there was blood all over the pillow I was sleeping
Oh,
on the
yikes.
couch. Yeah. Uh, so I'm
Yikes.
gonna, Mom, I know you're listening. I'm gonna need you to fill in the gaps of my knowledge here. But I got all 4 of mine out. It
Yeah.
was at the end of my junior year of college. So it was like right before summer break. So it was the perfect time because I was running cross country at the time.
To be like 20-ish, 21, 22,
I
21.
would have been turning 21 that year.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was like in between, like spring season was over and then summer is like base. So we usually have like a 2 week block of very light training or nothing. So I was like, great, perfect time to get my wisdom teeth out. And they gave me Percocet,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in my extraction, but every single night I was alternating Percocet with Advil,
Ooh.
like every 2 hours to cover the 6 hour window or whatever.
Yeah.
Because once that Percocet was wearing off, it was one of the most painful things. I would just wake up crying, just like,
Oof.
"Mom, can I take another pill yet?" And she'd be like, "No."
You're like fiending.
I'm like, it hurts so bad. And then I got through all of my Percocet, and then my brother, my middle brother, had leftover Percocet from his procedure
The stash.
that I proceeded to use up because I did get dry sockets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was down and out for a full week.
Yeah. One of the things it reminds me of is when I was making or alluding to people giving unsolicited advice. I was telling Emily, my wife, this because she did the same thing respectfully, that literally every person, if I happen to mention, like, yeah, I'm going to be getting my wisdom teeth removed or whatnot, every person was like, ooh, I heard it's way worse when you're older. The
Really
first thing out of their mouth, the
interesting.
first thing. And I was talking to her and I was like, what is the deal with people being so ridiculously negative? Because like that's not, I don't do like wallowing in negative. I just
Yeah.
don't like take it. feel free to like package that and take it with you somewhere else. Like you've already said it once. That's the last. It was crazy how many people just their first immediate thing was, "Ooh, I heard it's way worse when you're older." I was just
Mm.
like, "All right, well, you might be right, and thank you. Like, what do you want me to do with that?"
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it was. I'd like to believe that it definitely helped to not have gone under, because even though it was uncomfortable with the
Mhm.
shots and whatnot, I think the recovery process itself
Mm.
was I'm gonna just ballpark that I was probably like a day ahead recovery wise, because when I got home, like, yeah, it was uncomfortable and whatnot, but I was back on my laptop doing stuff and,
Yeah.
whatever. The biggest issue was, or one of the bigger issues was just not having a whole lot of energy because I wasn't eating a lot,
Yeah.
which is not my jam at all.
Mhm.
So now I'm, for the most part, back in full swing. Like I'm still healing up, and things are still kind of rebuilding back there, but definitely in a much much better place than I was, because the pain was like crazy leading into that. So yeah.
Mm.
So, anyways, last thing on that would just be, um, as somebody who has not really had surgery, like I have not to this point haven't had like a broken bone or any sort of surgery for the most part, that that's really one of the few times that I can really remember like physically, like being given the medical advice to not work out, uh,
Mhm.
in I don't even know how long. Honestly, gosh, that might be, shoot, other than when I had a hernia, so I had that like taken care of, but that was back in 2010, I
Mhm.
think. Something like that. 2010, 2011. So it's been like almost 13, 14 years since I've had any sort of like thing where it was like, hey, it's really not advisable for you to
Yeah.
lift weights. So I had a ton of gratitude just for the being able to move. And I was talking to one of my clients where we're working on trying to increase their frequency with going for walks, getting steps in, just doing little things around the house to try to stay moving a bit more, especially with the temperature drop and things like that.
Mhm.
And we were talking about like that moment, that really quick decision where you're just like, yeah, I could get up and go for like a 10-minute walk, but why would I want to right now? Like, it just honestly,
Yeah.
it's just like, who wants? I just don't feel like it. And I was like, yeah, my perspective is just very, very different now more than ever, because I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't I get up and just move for 10 minutes when there's a chance there's going to be a day where I'm not going to be able to? Like, I'm just not
Mhm.
going to have the option. So why wouldn't I just get up and move for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that sort of a thing? So that's that's my segment for today. All about wisdom tooth removal and gratitude for
Mm.
movement. So there we go.
You had another one. What is this other?
Oh, yeah, this is just a random rant here.
Oh,
So
okay.
we here in the central Illinois area have experienced an immense amount of first snow and then cold. I wouldn't say immense amount of snow. We've had two different dumps of about, let's say, 6-ish inches,
Okay.
somewhere around there. Um, Once this past weekend, like yesterday and the day before, and then once like the week before that. Right now, it's just like frigid. It's two before the wind chill. So that's
2
not
degrees?
wind chill. Yeah, 2 degrees, two.
Oh my god.
So yeah, wind chill is like in some cases we're like in the negative teens right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh.
and be with the nature of my in-person job, there are times where we're still up and running for business. So if I
Mhm.
can physically still like get in there without like risking my life or whatnot, I still show up when I can. And what's interesting to me sometimes is people will say like, hey, how are the roads? And my answer is always, well, in the route that I drove in the vehicle that I drive, here's what it was like.
Mhm.
However, you're coming from a different place. You're driving a different vehicle. I I don't know. I don't know. And it's just this like, I I'm not a good source of telling you how the roads are. I'm just not, because I don't I don't know. It's the oddest thing to me, especially because a decent amount of times it will be after I've gone to the gym at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's a
Mhm.
different story at 4:30 in the morning than it is when you're going to leave the house at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a different, yeah. Or somebody who lives on a completely different side of town than me. Like we
Yeah.
live behind, or not behind, but a little bit past. We're near a small regional airport, and then there's like farmland. We don't live in like the sticks, but
Mhm.
it's open field.
Yeah.
I can tell you that's a very different experience from another area of the city that I live in where there's buildings, things to block wind.
Yeah.
Very, very different. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's just this random rant on, like, I don't know. It's almost the same as me asking you, like, hey, how was your drive to the store today?
I don't
It's
know
gonna
if
be
it's
about
quite the same.
to me it is. Because it's no more or less accurate. Because I distinctly recall living in Chicago,
Mhm.
and or not living, but working in Chicago for a couple of years, and the difference between what the roads were like on the bus routes
Mhm.
versus the non-bus routes was like a third world country versus like luxury.
Yeah.
Very completely different. So if one of my employees was like, "Oh yeah, everything was smooth on the way to work," then another one was like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like there's literally snow falling in my windows
Uh-huh.
when I open my door." Yeah, it's just so different to me.
How
That's my
many
rant.
people are asking you how the roads are?
Decent amount.
Really?
I would say at least, well, at least 10 people. Also keep in mind what an average day would look like for me. I'm interacting with God
Yeah.
knows how many people. And
But aren't
I'm
you interacting
also
with those people after they've already been on the roads?
I'm also dealing with people who are like I've been up and out. On
Uh-huh.
average, I'm typically up and out earlier than most people. So
Yeah.
then other people who have not left their home, who know that I'm up and out early, will shoot me a text and be like, "Hey, how are the roads out there?"
Interesting.
Kind of like I had advanced scouted it.
Do you guys not
Uh,
have cameras?
there are cameras available.
Oh.
You say that as if most humans are resourceful.
I should know better by now.
Yeah, like
That's what
I
I
was
do.
like,
I
how
just
am
go
I going
check
to
the
answer the
cameras.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I going to answer this question for Calvary? Yeah, there's if you're in the state of Illinois, by the way, there's a great website called gettingaroundillinois.com. I think pretty much
Oh.
every state
Yeah.
has something like Colorado Department of Transportation, Illinois
Yeah, we have
Transportation.
CDOT. Mhm.
Yeah, most places you can find online the like cameras, whether they're at rest areas if you're traveling or whatnot. You can find the cameras that are mounted onto like the traffic lights and stuff like that, and you can get literally a live look in
Mhm.
to see what it's like. It's the same thing though when somebody will ask you a question and you're like, "Well, no, let me Google that for you."
Yeah.
So, yeah, so when you're like, "Do they not have cameras?" Like that's literally like, do you not have access to like understand information by yourself? No? Okay. So I don't know. All right.
Ugh.
Rant over. Let's get into the topic.
Okay. Um, so last time we talked about what busy looks like for us and
Hmm.
then how we maintain fitness through those times. So we thought it would be good to go through some specific things we do to get in our training during busy times.
Okay.
Um, which it sounds like we're both in right now.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So some of it might be some repeats from last episode. I know we've talked about this before too, but
Yeah.
this is always a good time of year to revisit the topic. So, do you have anything top of mind you want to start with?
Yeah, there's so many different directions I can go in on this one. I'll use today as an example.
Yeah.
I typically, so my split is 4 lifting days per week. So it's a lower body day, upper body day, some cardio on the third day, then a lower body day, a rest day, and then my upper body day. So basically, I have 2 lower, 2 upper.
Hmm.
And this morning, my so Sunday mornings, we're recording today on a Sunday night. Sunday mornings for me typically are a training day. It's a lifting day for me. Monday is not my first training day of the week. It's typically Sunday. I
Mhm.
have plenty of time. I'm fortunate enough to have gym access where I can go in. There's literally no one else there because we're not open. And it's
Mhm.
also the day that I will do like my check-in photos, like all that stuff, because there's nobody there. So I can pretty much do my thing. Well, being in the midst of the holiday season, for those of you who are not aware, my in person job, I work in retail management. So we're in the midst of the holiday season. So schedules can change, not often, but it's something that can definitely happen. My schedule needed to change. I found out yesterday, like morning, early afternoon. So instead of needing to be at work at 10 o'clock in the morning, I needed to be at work at 6 o'clock this morning.
Hmm.
And so it was like, okay, well, I could very easily just shift, and instead of training on Sunday, I could change it to Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday is usually a cardio day for me because I
Mhm.
train a client at 6 a.m. on Tuesday mornings. So I could just shift it to Tuesday, maybe work out later in the day because I don't go to my in-person job that day. I really had no desire to do all of that though,
Yeah.
like at all. So what I did, knowing that my body generally tends to wake up around the same time, regardless of when I've gone to bed. For the
Mhm.
most part, I am typically going to be up around the same time, like around 4-ish, regardless of when I've gone to bed. So what I did this morning, before I went to bed last night, like I had my whole workout laid out and I was just like, let's just see what happens. Like I'll set an alarm just in case, like I don't want to oversleep for work at all
Yeah.
because I need to be there by 6. But if I happen to wake up and I feel like I can get up and move and it be somewhat productive, then I'm going to go in and let's see what we do. So what I did was I took my lower body day, which typically has 3 main movements and then 2 what we'll call like sub movements.
Mhm.
So instead, what I did was I got in, took about 10 minutes and warmed up on the bike, like took my time there. I wanted something that was a little bit of a slower start, but I also didn't have like all morning to spend in the gym.
Mhm.
So I just basically what I did was I just pulled the squats and I was like, I'm just going to do the squats and they were paired up with like a hip abduction movement. And so I just really dialed in on a warm up, then a little bit of plyometric stuff with some box jumps, and then did the squats and went heavy on those for, I think, including the build up sets, probably did about 6 sets
Mhm.
of squats, like really heavy. And then did a couple of sets of the abductions, then had time to do my check-in photos, all that stuff, and get ready at the gym and then be at work in plenty of time. So what I did basically was just took one big movement, shifted that to today, and then I'll
Mhm.
do the rest of it, Lord willing, tomorrow. So that's one idea that I will recommend for folks sometimes is taking, if you have one workout that typically takes you say an hour to an hour and a half, can you split that up or just pull the main movements and just do that, move your accessory movements to a different day, maybe with some cardio, stuff like that. So being okay, splitting things up
Mhm.
is one of the tips that I would definitely throw out there. And really the most bang, pull the movements that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. Like tomorrow, I'm going to end up having like a cast glute bridge. And then I think there's a split squat that's in there. Those are going to be my 2 main movements. And I'll probably also put in some leg extensions just to get things rolling. So I don't know if that's quite the direction we're going in, but that would be a tip from me would be to
Yeah.
take, to split things up, especially if you are somebody who like doesn't like to see things not done.
Yeah.
Like I used to have clients that were like, I can't, yeah, but I hate seeing that red X that says I didn't do that movement. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, well, I could delete it. They're like, no, don't delete it. I'm like, all right. So yeah, being okay splitting some things up is helpful.
Yeah. Even before you get to that point, I would say that if you are not working with a coach
Hmm.
before your week starts, looking at your week and planning out when your workouts are going to happen, when they have the best likelihood of happening, especially if like your schedule is changing or it's a busier week. So like you and I typically have the same weekly schedules roughly. but I know a lot of people might not, especially like nurses. I know that's one of the harder occupations to plan around.
Mhm.
But yeah, just on a weekly basis, getting in that habit of looking, be like, okay, what do I want to accomplish this week, workout wise? Realistically, where can that happen? And then that can help you just kind of make a plan and commit to it. Um, and then I would also say looking at like what you want to accomplish in the week and deciding what, similar to what we were talking about last episode, like what's non-negotiable and what is like this is a bonus. So like my example is my running is usually non-negotiable, and I try the lifting, I'm like less sad if it drops off. I do, and you mentioned something similar last time with my lifting. If there's a week where I don't get in my 2 lifts, if I like get none in, I don't let that happen for another week.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
like I don't let lifting is still important. It's just not my number one, but I don't let it just like drop off for like a month. Um and you had a similar example last time. I don't quite remember. It was something about like taking off a day and then not letting it become 2 days or something.
Yeah, James Clear calls it
Mm,
the 2-day rule.
yeah, yeah.
So skipping once happens, skipping twice in a row is the formation of a new habit,
Yeah.
is paraphrasing how he says it. And to clarify, that doesn't mean consecutive like Monday, Tuesday. It's like if you
Yeah. 2
train on Monday,
occurrences.
yeah, two, that's a better way to put it. Yeah, two
Yeah.
occurrences. Now I have adopted more of the not more than two in a row. Because for
Yeah.
me, three tends to just generally become a habit. And I really just like that overall like mindset,
Yeah.
or that overall tactic. Because I think when you're, it's more, I think when his version of the 2-day rule, as far as like, okay, once happens, twice you're about to start going down a different road, or what I call like, or I picked this up from Napoleon Hill, drifting. It's just
Mhm.
like slowly start to drift. I
Yeah.
find that to be more of an issue with new habits,
Mm.
something
Yeah.
that you're not, that has not typically been in your wheelhouse before, or a consistent habit for you before,
Mhm.
versus something that it's like um you were doing it like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, I just went blank, but you know what I mean, like the difference
Yeah.
between like a brand new habit, like you're starting to go to the gym,
Mhm.
versus I haven't been to the gym in 2 days and I
Yeah.
normally go. I think they have kind of different vibes. But yeah, that 2-day rule, I'm a big fan of that because I like that kind of frequency thing.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and that does actually correlate to mine since I lift twice a week usually.
Oh.
So if I miss 2, then the 3rd would be the 2nd week, which I try not to let happen. Um, but
And
along with that, it goes along with something you've been posting. I don't remember the phrase off the top of my head. Adjustment is better than something.
oh, adjustments over excuses.
Yeah. So, like,
Man.
I've been really embracing shorter lifting sessions, like 30 minutes. Um, because it's a hard time to motivate right now
Mhm.
for me, especially with work being really busy because I lift after work. Like I split up my running and lifting, run
Ah,
before work.
yeah.
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 I've thought about just doing both of them before and I just can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I'm stuck on like this one workout that I keep doing. And I know I need to switch up eventually, but it gets me into the garage and I'm like, okay, I know I can do my pogo hops, my Bulgarian split squats, my single leg RDLs, and overhead presses.
Yeah.
And that'll take like roughly 30 minutes with a warm up. Um, and then sometimes if I feel good, I'll do more, you know?
Yeah.
But the 30 minutes is just a lot easier to fit in logistically and mentally versus like 45 minutes to an hour twice a week, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting that you bring this up too with something that I was thinking about earlier today, as I was kind of having a little bit of a back and forth with somebody on talking to them about slipping into all or nothing thinking.
Hmm.
And um, again, I do think that there's just different nuances when we're talking about building the new habit of working out versus getting back into a rhythm of working out. Like if you're not
Yeah.
somebody who typically has worked out, and generally my wheelhouse tends to be people who have worked out before, they will just typically like find themselves looking back and being like, yeah, I don't know what just happened, but just life. If I had like $7 for every time I've been told like life starts lifing over the past like year, it's been
Yeah.
crazy that they're like, life started lifing. And the next thing that I know, like 4 workouts a week turned into 3, then turned into 2. And then like I'm going once every couple of weeks and blah, blah, blah. And so, with one particular individual, we were just having a little bit of a back and forth, and they were like, yeah, I've got this going on and this going on. And I just haven't felt motivated to like get up and go to the gym. And I was like, all right, well, what, what, it, what crosses your mind if I were to say, like, you set a timer for 10 minutes and you do 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups, 5 air squats, and for 10 minutes, like as many as you can do in a row or whatnot. And they're like, yeah, I just don't know that that's really going to do a whole lot. And it's like, have you considered that you might be slipping into all or nothing thinking? They're like, well, no, I'm not an all or nothing thinker. And I'm like, then what would you call yourself? I'm not
Mhm.
trying to like, this is people who like are my clients understand. This is just the rapport. Like we're good.
Yeah.
It's just, I was like, well, what would you call it then? Because literally you're saying, well, there's no point in doing anything. So you did nothing.
Yeah.
And there's this comparison of, yeah, but I'm the person who can deadlift like 300 pounds. I'm the person who, is typically identified as like super jacked. I'm like, I understand. Like, I get it. Like you're big pimping. Like I get it. And also I truly believe that there's a lot of value in just proving to yourself that you can still show up even if it's a $1 deposit when you have a $100,000 debt to pay. Like
Mhm.
I still think that there's value in doing that. It's not about, I feel like I'm about to sound like Chat GPT here. Like it's not about this. It's about this. And here's the
Eh.
truth.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not about, okay, 10-minute AMRAP of 5 push-ups, 5 air squats, and 5 sit-ups is going to get you jacked. That's literally not even, I'm not talking about, is that effective from a muscle building standpoint or a cardio standpoint? I'm talking about, is it effective to prove to yourself that you can still show up and do something for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And that, I don't know. I got left on red after that one. So we'll see what happens. See what happens now. Now we'll see what happens. But yeah, oh, it's been very front of mind recently. Probably because I've been talking to myself about the same stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's very prevalent, especially this time of year
Yeah. What
when
do? How about switching things up too? That's something that I will throw out at people too during time frames where um, they are just really busy. Um, something well, clients, friends, whoever, and also myself, periodically, I haven't done this in a while. However, periodically, I would go to an actual in-person class
Mm,
for the accountability of
yeah.
knowing that I was gonna gonna do it, or even something that I really enjoyed. My gym doesn't do this any longer. During COVID, um, as gyms were starting to reopen, so in Illinois, we had like different phases of reopening.
Mhm.
And so there was a particular phase where gyms could reopen, and there were rules. And we as a gym, we followed those rules. And it was like people have to be a certain amount of feet apart and whatnot. And so when you do group exercise training, like we literally had boxes like taped on the ground,
Yeah.
and people had their equipment and stuff. And so even if you were going to do open gym, you still had to register for open gym. Now it
Mm.
wasn't tightly managed. Like, oh, you can't, there's already 4 people scheduled and we have 6 slots, so you better hurry. There wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed being able to like, okay, I'm putting my name on the list for open gym, even though I'm a coach and I can show up whenever I want. I have
Yeah.
keys. But it was just like just actually signing up for something.
Yeah.
That's something that I would throw out there too, is trying something different, not because
Yeah.
it's going to completely like change your life and, that'll be the answer to everything. It's just, especially if you're somebody who typically runs by yourself, lifts by yourself, all that stuff, maybe even works like remotely, because that's a lot of folks, something that's in person, whether it's a yoga class, whether it's a cardio dance class, whatever it is, like something that you have to show up for. I
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's something I'd throw out.
Yeah. Um, I had something else I wanted to say, and it's escaped my brain now.
Go find it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Like those movies, go find it.
Yeah.
Did it have to do with changing up your workout, shortening your workouts, changing movements?
Maybe it was about the shortening. I don't know. I think the adjusting things instead of just nixing it is a
Mm-hmm.
good tip. Whether it's like shortening it like I was talking about, or whether it's like looking at your week like you were talking about and seeing like, should I shift things around because
Yeah.
of this unexpected thing that popped up. The only thing I'll say about shifting things around, because I've seen some of my runners do this, is early in the week, don't shift everything to the end of the week. Like if
We,
you're gonna
we're
shift,
literally thinking the same thing. Yes.
yeah,
You're so
like
right. Yeah.
if you're still gonna try to get everything in within the week time frame, you can't shift Monday and then shift Tuesday and then shift Wednesday. uh, for one, like for running, if you're not used to running that many days in a row and then all of a sudden you're like cramming everything in the second half of the week, that's just
Mm-hmm.
risky. Especially if you didn't run the first half of the week and like depending on how your previous week went. Um, but also you're just kind of telling yourself that you can just push things. And then inevitably what I would see is we're pushing things and then we can't fit it all in that 3 days. So then we're cutting things out. So then you're just kind of telling yourself, okay, if I don't want to do it Monday and Tuesday, I can move it. And then, okay, I don't want to do it Friday, Saturday now. I'm just going to not do it. And
Yeah.
then you keep doing that. And depending on, what your goals are and things, you're just not setting yourself up for success. Especially coming from obviously the running background, like it's a very challenging way to train for a race. I will say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'd say from the lifting aspect, a good rule of thumb is block it, like put a block in your calendar for the
yeah,
first available opportunity. And then if something else frees up before that, great. However, put something in there for the first available opportunity is a big one for me, because I'm totally emphatically co-sign the whole like don't just push it to the end of the week, because I will see that. I will see folks do that sometimes where they typically would work out, say like Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Friday. Let's
hmm
say, so they say they're like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, and they'll hit like Monday, but then like Tuesday a meeting runs late. So they're just like, I should just be able to, all of a sudden it's not just shift one day. They're just like, yeah, I should be able to just make up for all three over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll work
yeah,
out. And I remember one case where somebody did that, and however their schedule typically went, they were like, yeah, I'm just going to shift it to this. And the way that my clients will typically message me is like, hey, just as a heads up, because sometimes I'll look at things and they know I'm just going to look at patterns and whatnot. I'm not the one who's like, hey, you missed yesterday's workout. Like I'm
yeah,
not an advanced babysitter. So they'll just say like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. And it's more of a collaboration and partnership. And I remember one of my clients, like she shot me a message. It was like, hey, got this day done, but not going to be able to do the other two until later in the week. I'm just going to shift them over to, let's say, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, whatever it was.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, so you plan to train like 5 days in a row or something like that. She was like,
yeah,
what are you talking about? I'm like, well, you shifted it to those 2 days and then you're already planning to train the other 2 to 3 days after that. So that's
yeah,
going to actually be 5 days in a row. Like I'm down if you are going to be like able to do that. And they were like, well, no, that'd be crazy. I'm like, I agree. So, so I was like, listen, what would a shortened version of it look like? So just
Mhm.
ask, like, what would that look like? And then they would throw back like, okay, I think I could do this, this, and this. I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. Let me know how it goes. So the domino effect,
Yeah.
so really thinking about as you shift, think about the domino effect. And I think, let me know if you think I'm on the right track. I think one of the things that first comes to mind for people is, well, yeah, but is that okay to do?
To
Or,
shift?
well, just, yeah, people, the, the response that I will hear from people when I ask, so have you thought about doing this instead? Have
Mhm.
you thought about doing, I'll use my example. Have you thought about doing some light cardio to warm up because you just need to be in the right headspace? Because going into work today, I just wanted to be in a good headspace, and moving my body puts me in a good headspace.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, have you thought about doing a little bit of light cardio just to warm up, going pretty heavy on the squats, doing a couple of your accessory moves, and then call it a day, and then
Mhm.
just shift the other stuff? And they're like, yeah, but I thought I had heard you're not supposed to like squat one day and hip thrust the next day, or I heard it was
Mm.
bad for you if. I'm like, okay, well, let me know how that goes. Just try it anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say what's the worst that could happen because bad things can happen. Just like, why not like mess around, find out,
Yeah.
MAFO, no FAFO here. MAFO, mess around, find out. So yeah, be an experimenter and
Mhm.
play around with stuff. I'm always down with that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't do anything super risky.
What would you consider super risky? Within reason. Don't give me like, you know,
It's more so with
running
runners.
two ultras in a row. Like, what would you consider super
I wouldn't
risky?
call that super risky
Okay,
unless
well,
you
there you go.
aren't
I guess
running.
nothing's off the table then.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's all about context, right? Like, if you're training
Mhm.
to run 2 ultras in like, there are some races that have
No, I was talking like 2 days in a row, like
yeah.
back to back.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's,
okay.
like
Yikes.
it's usually, like, a 50 miler and a 50K. One on one
Woof.
day, one on the next day. Um,
Yeah, the reason I ask that is because I think that folks who typically train could take more risks than they do.
yeah. So, on the running front, we're saying experiment.
Mhm.
If you're, like, used to running 10 to 15 miles a week, your longest run is usually 4 or 5 miles,
Okay.
and you want to experiment with upping your mileage, condensing the days you're running, don't go from like a 4 mile long run to a 10 mile long run.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing, you know?
Kinda like a
Um,
find it in between, like 6 to 7.
yeah, like ramp yourself up to something.
Mhm.
Or some people can do that, right? Like we've all seen it. People who like run a marathon without training for it and then they're like, I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
Um, so like
She was in fact not fine.
yeah, and some people are fine. Some people are freaks of nature, the exceptions to the rule, not the the norm.
Yeah.
But just don't like stack a bunch of risky things. I think is the better way to say it. Because like if you do like one 10 mile run and you're not used to running 10 miles, like you're probably going to be fine. To be honest, if all of a sudden all of your long runs are 10 miles when they historically were 4, like
Yeah.
you're probably setting yourself up for more risk of injury. Or if you're like, I'm going to up my mileage and then I'm going to deadlift the most I've ever deadlifted
Yeah.
at the
That's
same time,
yeah. I
Usually,
have a
like,
go ahead.
yeah, I would just say, like, experimenting, do something out of your norm and then back off a little bit, like, let yourself recover before you do something else out of your norm, you know?
Yeah. I have a client, and we'll start wrapping up here. I have a client who I've worked with for about 3 years, I think, and she pretty consistently now trains on, now that we're on a 3-day split, she trains on, like, Monday, Wednesday, and usually Saturday for the most part. However, during times where her and her family are traveling, she'll shoot me a message and just say, "Hey, just a heads up, here's what I'm looking to do. and it will typically be a very condensed training schedule. So instead of having like 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 2 days off, it would
Mhm.
be sometimes we've even done 3 consecutive lifting days in a row. And she's no like she doesn't mess around. Like she's
Mhm.
hip thrusting at least twice her body weight, if not 3 times. Like she can move. And she just keeps in mind really, because at this point it's more like collaboration and partnership. She's like, hey, I'm going to condense these 3 days. I understand that I'm going to need to make sure that I'm still taking care of like adequate protein, make sure my hydration stays up. Like it's about tightening things up
Mhm.
to support knowing that you're taking that extra risk, or that you are condensing your training and you're going a little harder in the paint, because she had travel coming up, and during the travel she was going to be doing some hiking, but she's used to being on her feet a bunch. Like this is somebody who used to literally average like 20,000 steps, and we were like, yeah, you can
Wow.
dial that back.
Yeah.
She runs that the Ragnar thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So instances like that, like that's, I would consider that to be under the umbrella of like trying something different,
Yeah,
taking a little risk, like being outside of the box. And also it's a calculated risk, because
right.
you also are putting support systems in place to both fuel and recover from doing that much training in a smaller amount of time. So you just understand like what the sacrifices and the trade-offs are going
Mhm.
to be. So I think that's something that can definitely be a thing too. It doesn't have to be so rigid where it's like, well, I thought you could never do like, 2 lower body days back to back. Because basically what I'm doing is I took like one thing that was like heavy strength, and then I'm doing mostly like hypertrophy type
Mm.
stuff the
Yeah.
second day. So I'll end up lifting 3 days in a row, like basically, but squeezing in that workout on, or putting that workout in on Tuesday, it being an upper body day, is much better than like Tuesdays. I usually don't lift. If it's going to be a day I don't typically lift, I'd rather it be an upper body day than it be a lower body day,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, because the exertion level is just different for me.
Yeah.
For me, it is. I don't know.
I feel like most people.
You would think dudes are weird
Yeah,
though.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the amount of yeah. I was looking at I was looking at one of my buddy's training programs. He asked me to take a look at it, like some
Uh-huh.
training that he put together, and I mean, he knows what he's doing as far as like the exercise selection. It was just one of those like it seems like all this was made separately. Like one wasn't talking to the other one. Do you see that? And we looked, and he basically had like 5 upper body days and 1 lower body day.
Oh my
Like the
gosh.
way that it spanned out over like a 2 week time frame. I was
Yeah.
like, this is literally like the fitness version of Black Mirror. Remember that show on Netflix where
Yeah, I
not
hate that show.
yeah, and I think I told you before, I hated it at first because I didn't know that all the episodes weren't supposed to go together.
Yeah, and that made no difference for me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
for me it finally did, because I was like, I don't understand how like
Yeah.
this guy getting it on with a pig has anything to do with this woman and her social media score.
Yeah.
I'm very confused about this. But once somebody explained it to me, it made sense. But yeah, looking at yeah, I it's just I don't know. Dudes are forever like trying to go all over like upper body stuff, and then they're like, yeah, I throw in legs every now and then. I'm like, yeah, man, you are missing out. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know.
But all right.
All
Well,
right.
any last words of wisdom?
No, we very shortly are going to be hitting
Take
the
it or leave it.
last. Yeah, we want to do a take it or leave it.
Yeah, because our next episode will come out on January 2nd.
Oh snap! Gosh, yeah. But we're
So
recording
we're
in.
recording end of December, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I need to check my calendar too. I don't think I have anything going. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay,
so that'll be a good.
so we'll do a little take it or leave it.
Yeah, I already have most of my list. I think there's
Oh,
one I need to populate.
oh,
Hmm.
okay. And we're
Yeah,
we're doing our personal take it or leave it's, or it
yeah.
doesn't matter. It's like things in fitness, just us, whatever.
I think we do what we did last year. Two, we're gonna
I
take.
like how you say things like that. like
I'm
I
going
will
to explain
remember.
it now since you don't remember.
You're always like, remember on episode 32 when you, bro.
We take 2 training and 2 living.
Okay, that's
We
right.
leave 1 training and 1 living.
Okay,
Take 2, leave 1 for
okay,
each category.
got it.
And then I thought if there is anything, we could throw in a 3rd category, just 1.
Hmm.
What do we want to start doing that we're not already? Because you can't really take or leave
Oh,
something you're not doing. I guess you could
okay,
take it, but
okay,
the nature of
yeah.
our taking is like something we're currently doing.
Are you doing a word for the year?
I don't know. I didn't do it this year. Just didn't feel right.
Do you know? Have you ever listened to one of the episodes when I had MC on Melissa?
Yeah.
Like okay,
Yeah. She's like very into the words
she's
and
she's like
wordplay.
she's such a like just different in like the best way. She's literally like one of my top 50 ever people
Uh-huh.
because she just the way her brain works, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. So she's gonna be back on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an annual. Yeah, she's an annual. She's only on social media for like 2 months or something near the end of the year to
Oh,
do
that's
her 25.
amazing.
She's doing her 25 and 25 now. She did 24
Mm,
and 24. But yeah, and then she just like ghosts social media until the next year. Yeah.
man, maybe that's what I should take into start
Yeah.
doing in 2026. Disappearing off social media.
Yeah. You thinking about it?
I don't
Like
know.
legit thinking about it?
I mean, I probably should. My screen time is way too high again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Realistically, if I were running a responsible business, I couldn't. It's not
Yeah, and
to
I don't
really
have
do.
that anymore. So
Something that
I'm
would
just a
be
person.
something that would be really interesting would be like a once a month. Like you just log on once a month.
Hmm.
Because you know how some people do like the photo recaps of the month and stuff like
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's like you just live your life for the month and then once a month you post like here's what's been up and whatnot. I don't know. I could probably make that work if I just posted and then logged off.
yeah.
But it doesn't work very well for like actual engagement and
It's true. Yeah, because
yeah.
you have to partake in the engagement to get
Yeah.
people to engage with your stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. True. All
yeah.
right. So
Okay.
no, I don't have everything else. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a take it, leave it, start it.
End of year episode. Yeah.
It's like that Missy Elliott song. Touch it, bring it. Never mind. It's a Busta Rhymes, actually. I almost confused that
um.
with my neck, my back.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, this has gone off the rails. So
All
if
right.
you want to, you can follow us on Instagram, even though we're talking about being off social media.
I, I'm not leaving social media that I know of. So
Yeah, you don't run our account.
this is true.
So,
Yep.
anyway, you can find us at Lifting Running Living Pod, or you can email us at liftingrunningLivingPod@gmail.com, or you can leave a rating and review anywhere you
Cool.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. I'm putting in a shameless plug.
Okay.
If you would like to subscribe to my email list, shoot me a message
Mm.
and I'll get you on the email list. I am in the process of shifting my email list to a different CRM
Oh, which one?
manually. Go high level.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I'm
Is that
I have
new?
I'm on Kit right now. No, it's like
ConvertKit?
yeah. Well, they changed to Kit. They're just Kit,
Oh.
but I'm leaving. I'm
I'm
leaving
behind the times.
Kit. Yeah, I'm leaving Kit and converting everything to Go High Level.
Interesting. I've heard good things
And
about Kit.
yeah, Kit was fine. Go High Level is a completely different tier, different animal. It has so much more. It's so much more robust. And I'm
Mm,
a part of a group called The Collective with
yeah.
Mike Milner, and it's literally for the price that I'm paying to be in the collective, it actually covers Go High
Oh,
Level, which is insane. Yeah. If anybody's interested in hearing about that, let me know. If you're a coach, let me know. But anyways, yeah, if you're interested in joining my email list, just shoot me an email or shoot me a message on Instagram at Coach JK McLeod. Shameless plug. All right. If you listen this long, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 6-7
oh my
of
god.
Lifting, Running, and Living. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.